My name is Ryan Carter, and the night my wife texted me that her flight was delayed in Chicago was the night everything I believed about our marriage began to unravel. It was a Sunday evening, quiet and ordinary. I just finished cleaning up dinner and was watching the last minutes of a basketball game when my phone buzzed. It was Emily. Flights delayed. Stuck in Chicago. I'll be home tomorrow morning, her text read. I sighed, disappointed but understanding. She was returning from a business conference in New York, and flight delays were common. Okay, I replied. Get some rest if you can. Love you. She texted back, love you too. Simple, routine, nothing suspicious. Out of habit, I opened her message thread again a few minutes later to check if she'd seen my last text. That's when I noticed something odd, a small location tag at the top of the message. Sent from Miami, Florida. My stomach flipped. At first, I thought it was a glitch. Maybe the airline system had routed something strangely, or her phone was using a Wi-Fi network that messed with GPS. But then I stared at it longer. Miami. Not Chicago. Not anywhere close. My pulse began to race. Emily didn't have family or friends in Miami. Her company wasn't based there. She had no reason to be there, none that I knew of. I opened our shared calendar. Her work trip clearly said, NYC conference, return flight to Chicago O'Hare, 6 p.m. The facts didn't add up. I texted her again, casual this time, how's the airport? Crazy busy. 10 minutes passed. No reply. I checked the airline's website. Her listed flight had already landed an hour earlier. I refreshed again and again, hoping I was reading it wrong. Nothing changed. My mind spun. Was she connecting through Miami? Did she lie about the route? Or was this something else entirely? I needed to know, but I didn't want to sound paranoid. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Her recorded voice sounded suddenly foreign, too calm, too practiced. I tried again, same result. That's when a quiet dread settled in. I remembered the last few weeks, how distracted she'd been, how she'd started locking her phone, how she always said she was just tired from work. Maybe I'd brushed off too many signs. Maybe the truth had been whispering all along, and I'd chosen not to hear it. I opened her Instagram page, something I rarely did. Nothing new. Then I noticed she'd recently followed a man named Jason Miles. His photos showed beaches, palm trees, and Miami sunsets. My chest tightened. I scrolled faster. A picture from 3 days ago, Emily's reflection in his sunglasses as they sat at an outdoor cafe. Same hairstyle. Same earrings she'd worn when she left for New York. I sat there frozen, the sound of the game fading into nothing. I didn't want to believe it, but denial only lasts so long. For the first time in our marriage, I realized I didn't actually know where my wife was, or who she was with. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that location tag. By morning, I made a decision. Not to yell, not to accuse, but to confront the truth head-on. When Emily finally texted at 8:17 a.m., it read, just landed. Exhausted. Can't wait to see you. My hands shook as I replied, welcome home. We need to talk. She didn't answer right away. An hour later, I heard her car pull into the driveway. I stood by the window, watching her step out, calm, composed, suitcase in hand, the picture of innocence. She came inside, smiled like nothing had happened, and kissed my cheek. Rough trip, she sighed. You wouldn't believe the delays. I met her eyes. How was Miami? The color drained from her face instantly. What? She said, voice trembling slightly. I said, how was Miami? I repeated, holding up my phone with the location tag on the screen. She froze. The silence between us stretched, sharp as glass. Finally, she sat down, her shoulders collapsing. I'm sorry, she whispered. It wasn't supposed to happen. The confession came in broken pieces. She'd met Jason at a previous work event months ago, they'd stayed in touch, and what began as friendship had turned into something else. The conference in New York was a lie. She'd flown to Miami to meet him, planning to end things afterward but couldn't bring herself to. I didn't want to hurt you, she said, tears running down her face. I looked at her, numb. You already did. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The air felt heavy, full of every unspoken word we'd avoided for years. Eventually, I stood. I need space, I said quietly. And you need to decide who you really are. She nodded, broken. I packed a small bag and left for my brother's place that day. The days that followed were strange, half grief, half relief. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just done pretending. A week later, she sent me a message, "You didn't deserve this. I'll sign whatever papers you need." I didn't reply right away. I just stared at the screen, realizing that honesty, even when it hurts, is better than a comforting lie. Months later, I went to Miami, not to find her, but to close that chapter. I walked along the same beaches from her pictures, the ocean calm and endless. It didn't feel like betrayal anymore. It felt like freedom. Sometimes the truth doesn't come as a confession. It arrives as a location tag you weren't meant to see, a quiet whisper from the universe saying, "Wake up. It's time to start over."